We have a tribute for you folks. About 3, 2.5. It's a good one.
Single space.
Single space. Because I'll tell you, cramming 50 years into just a couple of pieces of paper, that was very hard. So I'm going to have to read most of this. I apologize, I didn't have time to memorize it. But at the right parts, I think you all know what your part is. Well, here we are in Boston, where it all started half a century ago. I calculated if I took 10 seconds to talk about each year, it would take about 8.5 minutes, and I think the band is only on break for 10, so we're going to have to summarize. So here are some highlights that celebrate this wonderful family that started 50 years ago yesterday. It was February 15th, 1958, when two of the most important people in all of our personal history pledged their love and their lives to each other, said "I do," kissed each other, and then made their way down the aisle toward the future. Here is what some of the future held. You know where this is going. In the first 5 years, Mom and Dad did everything they could think of to fill the status quo. They got married, they moved, they bought a house, they had a truckload of kids. Forgot to get the dog, but I think this is where the duckies and the bunnies came in. The bunnies were actually, I think, to win a bet. Mom's sister Nancy said something about those Magees multiplying like rabbits. And Mom retorted that rabbits couldn't multiply, in fact they couldn't even add, and she'd get a few bunnies to prove it. It only took about 3 weeks. Those innocent looking female rabbits were actually 2 fine young ladies and an exceptionally enthusiastic male. He had baby bunnies by the truckload. Mysteriously, someone staged a jailbreak, and for the next dozen years or so, you could spot bunnies of all colors hopping around in everyone's backyard. Well, Mom has always been a teacher at heart. We've known that. She spent many hours teaching us to read before we hit grade school, with Dinosaur Ben and Clifford the big red dog. Later, she enriched our lives by being a Girl Scout troop leader, Pioneer Girls leader, a sewing, knitting, crocheting instructor, a crafts person of anything you can name, and a musician. We had piano music, guitar music, recorders, and then later flutes and violins and clarinets, bass clarinet, trumpet, harps, bagpipe, chanter, chord organ with the Blue Danube and Drink to Me Only with Thine Eyes, and the accordions. And then there was the weird stuff. Things like kazoos and percussion instruments and the ever-popular nose flute. Well, while Mom dazzled our senses with the homegrown music, Dad pitched in with the reel-to-reel tape player and the hi-fi stereo. If you aren't sure what those 2 items are, just go to eBay, look under prehistoric technology. You'll find it. We listen to all kinds of stuff, classical music, movie soundtracks, Peter, Paul and Mary, you name it. But all the time, but the all-time favorites for me were the soundtracks to The Mikado and The Jungle Book. The 2 favorite songs were respectively Three Little Maids from School and I kind of liked We're Your Friends. Okay, but you don't have to.
What do you want to do?
Heard those so many times we probably could sing them flawlessly tonight, but let's try to hold back. Some great family experiences included camping at Long Lake in Maine. What a bonding experience. The amazing thing was cramming all the camping gear into one car. Mom and Dad would pack that station wagon all morning, starting around 7 a.m., maybe earlier. And then by 10, most of the stuff was in except for the people. So how do you load 4 kids into a car that's already full? You get a handful of comic books, throw them in. As soon as we dive in after those comics, the doors would slam and off we go. We all learned that you actually knit the family closer when you pack them in leaky tents in the night and then toss them in the lake during the day. Cook dandy camp meals like Dinty Moore beef stew, burn up a bunch of toast on the nifty camp toaster, and then eat marshmallows, crisp, perfectly brown over the campfire by the bagful, and swat mosquitoes while watching a camp movie at night. What a great time. Other wonderful times were canoeing on the Concord River. All you needed were a couple of fishing poles, a can of worms, a bag of Fritos, and a couple of Pepsis. This guaranteed pure bliss for the next couple of hours. We also had a lot of baseball in the summer. The whole neighborhood came over to our yard and learned to play first bounce or fly and how to smack a ball into the bushes across the yard. Never busted a window that I can recall. Here's some random bits. Anybody remember Ted in the fashion show with the reversible knit vest that Mom made?
Oh, yeah.
At
school.
At the high school.
Okay, yep.
Swimming at MIT with dinner at Arby's or Joyce Chen's little restaurant afterwards. Church on Sunday morning. Museum of Science in the afternoon. Popcorn over the fire in the fireplace, usually over our poor Christmas tree that got dismantled. Getting airplane rides on the pontoon plane up in Maine. Mom teaching canoe safety while tapping. She showed us how to fall in and not drown. It was great. Black Tuesday. It was clean your room day, in case you didn't know. Trips to Ohio and Florida. Movies on the stairs. Woody Woodpecker. The smell of burning feathers on the porch. Shooting arrows in the basement. Throwing darts and playing 8-ball. How about birdcage cake?
Oh, dear.
Uncle George and Aunt Nancy at Thanksgiving, and whatever happened to those couch pillows? Ta-goo.
Sai-am.
Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta,
Wow!
Well, Mom and Dad didn't spend all their time raising kids. They also did fun stuff for themselves. Date night was always a thrill. The hard part was coming home and paying the babysitter enough to make her want to come back again someday. Eventually we were old enough to fend for ourselves, and while you were out enjoying your adult ed classes in pottery and French cooking, we substituted your company for Eat Like a Pig night, which is sort of self-explanatory. Eat Like a Pig night, and Fend for Yourself night, where we made whatever we wanted for dinner. And speaking of dinner, Watch Your Silverware Klepto night was a big hit. Mom and Dad both have an entrepreneurial streak. Each has gone into business for themselves at one time or another. These endeavors included opening that little office in West Concord with one of the first PCs around. A Wang personal computer with a screen about that big. And you could write programs in BASIC. Now, BASIC is a computer language just a little higher on the food chain than binary. Dad is also an avid telescope maker and astronomer. In fact, if you were to look at the night sky tonight, he could probably tell you where in the world you were, right down to the actual harbor. Dad is also an inventor with, and you've got to fill in the blank, how many patents and how many pending. You can show us with fingers if you want to. And Mom's businesses have included making stuffed animals for sale.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that.
Remember, we'd come home from school and Mom would have that sort of glazed look on her face. She said it was from the thread dust, but I think it was from teenagers. And of course the beads. Yes. Mom's bead collection is amazing. She has every color of every bead in every shape and size from every country known to man. She weaves them, tats and crochets them, wraps them, and makes everything from little delicate strands to complicated masterpieces. Now, one of the most exciting things Mom and Dad did was get all the kids married off and out of the house. And retire. For retirement, Mom and Dad became world travelers. They've been all over the world, to the Arctic where they got their Blue Nose certificates, is that right?
Yeah.
To Blue Nose, Antarctica, Blue Nose, to China where Mom got a souvenir cast. Cruise around Africa where Dad was literally in stitches. That hyperactive dolphin, wasn't it?
Sea lion.
Sea lion. And also Europe, Bermuda, Pitcairn Island, South America a couple of times where they've been pretty safe so far. Well, we need to wrap up. So what did the future hold for this starry-eyed couple 50 years ago? There were a lot of accomplishments, but the biggest one has always been the family. We've raised 4 kids who have taken different skills and talents from you and have themselves become family-loving people, entrepreneurs, artists, and people who thrive on technology, camping, books, museums, beads. We in turn have produced another generation that includes carpenters, artists, singers, musicians, scholars, mathematicians, technology experts, entrepreneurs, and maybe even a doctor or two. And guitar makers. And then there's the generation after that, already artists and scholars, not to mention brilliant, adorable, and gorgeous. Well, for 50 years, you've stayed both sweethearts and friends, to have and to hold, from that day in 1958, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and cherish for the rest of your lives. And we all want to wish you many, many more years of joy with each other. We love you and congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I'm surprised at some of the things you included there.
Oh, there was more.
I didn't know you remembered all those things.
There's more.
She had to edit it.
I'll blackmail you later.
The Great Watusi.
The great one.
Oh,
And the little cow moo.
Oh,
All right.